right, I'd like to call the Waterworks and Lighting Commission meeting to order. Number 2, approval, additions or corrections to the minutes of the following meetings. 2.1 would be regular commission meeting held August 12th, 2015.
I move for approval.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in agreement, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Action items, 3.1, training request for out-of-state travel.
Is this something we do regularly?
We haven't done it for quite a few years, but in next year's budget, we're planning on purchasing a bucket truck and a mini excavator for sure, maybe a backhoe. And this here exposition should have all the latest type of vehicles there for them to look at, so we thought it was a good opportunity.
I guess they only have this international show down there in Louisville once every other year. They've requested to go in the past, but then we have not sent one. So,
Is this 1 or 2?
It's going to be 2 people.
because they'll be driving. So
Okay, do you know who the other person is yet? Not really.
Yeah.
possibly Dale,
Well-
or the line foreman.
Yeah,
Okay.
Joe Hartges is planning on going.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
I move for approval.
I'll second that.
All right, any other discussion? If not, all in agreement, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, safety committee.
I don't have any comments.
Okay, you don't have anything to say? No?
I don't have any.
Okay. Line superintendent.
He's got
Yes, sir.
It used to say specifically squirrels, now it's saying animals. Are they still squirrels or is there other things out there?
There's other things. It's categorized as animals, but sometimes you can get birds. We've had coons, we've had cats. You know.
All right.
So yeah, basically rather than just blaming one animal, we'll
It's
discover the bases.
Okay, thank you.
Does the same type of preventative measure work for all of them?
Yes, it
So-
should. Yes.
Okay.
Bird contacts, there's really not a lot we can do with wingspans, you know, if they go face to face or something like that. But generally, for the most part, the animal protectors will.
The critter types are all
Yeah.
taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anybody has anything else? If not, water department operations?
I had a question there. I see that we found and repaired some leaks. Are we coming up with numbers in terms of water savings?
Actually, Adam's working on that. Our numbers are coming down where it should be. It's kind of hard right now with the hydrant flushing that we're doing in the morning to know exactly where we're at. But this last weekend, we checked the figures and the numbers are coming right down to less than 2%, so it's doing pretty good. So at least what we found has made a difference, so.
I forget what you said last month. You told me about what it was before. Was it 10% or something?
Yeah, it was over that, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So it looks like it might be in the 2%, but we'll need a little bit more time before we know for sure.
Once we get everything back in place and don't interrupt things and see a normal flow of water, that'll give us more of a better indication of things.
No, I don't know, because we had the issues for so long into the year that we're going to see 2% for the year, because at one point we were tracking 15 to 20% losses for a few months until we did the leak detection and we fixed the west water tower and all those things are now making it come back into normal, so we'll see, you know, we'll probably see an average of that throughout the rest of the year,
Yeah.
or for the year-end number.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dale, what is the DNR's point in that you have to flush hydrants? Is that yearly?
It's supposed to be yearly, we've been doing it every other year, we just started getting into the cycle.
Yeah.
So we've been we're trying to do it every other year, complete city, and then we have to do valves every 5 years, we have to operate the valves in the city, so if you have 1,200 hydrants, so that's 1,200 valves right there, plus all the other main valves, so
Yeah.
it takes 3 to 4 years just to get through all the valves in town.
What are they talking about, just your major shut-off valves, or are they talking all?
Right.
Okay.
Valves in the street, they're supposed to be exercised, whatever, every 5 years.
And you do that, is their theory like to make sure there's no old water or that, you know, laying in some of the bad spots in the water lines? I guess I don't get it. I know it gets the toilets start, you know, creating some
But when you flush the hydrants,
sediment.
what happens over time, and you've seen it quite a bit when you use had the lime in the process, over time it gets sedimentation or sediments that settle out of the water in the pipe when it moves along the slope of motion. So when we flush the hydrants, you're getting all that stuff out.
Yeah.
Stuff that, like, if we fill a street sweeper or something, to see your water gets a little discolored. So by flushing the system, you get that debris out of there, so you don't see it show up more frequently than what it does. It's a minor irritation.
Yeah,
So
okay.
and make sure all the hydrants work. We actually found, we had to fix 4 of them and replacing 2 or 3 of them, so we're finding stuff that's...
Do we have any 100-year-old water lines?
Probably.
And would they, with the sediment, be starting to?
You can. Depends, you'll see that more so on a side street or a dead end or something,
Yeah.
where it has a place to settle out more.
Yeah, that was my original question, when you flush them. You know, I know there's, like on my street, I would imagine there's a dead end that, and a number of people on the end of the block, you know, they're not always in town, so.
Right, dead ends like you live on
Yeah.
are notorious for issues. We try and actually flush them more frequently in spring and fall, and maybe once during the winter if we have to keep things moving.
Okay. Anything else? If not, office manager report?
Which was handed out before the meeting here, so it's not on your
Oh,
iPad.
so should we take 10 minutes to read it?
If you'd like.
I don't know if there's 10 minutes of news in there.
Hey, I'm not a product of the Wisconsin Rapid School System. So.
I'd like to just pass on my compliments for your initiative in that little booklet on the history. I really enjoyed that. I haven't read it cover to cover yet, but I've paged through that. Thank you very much. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
that was nice.
For all of us folks that lived here a few years, it brought back a few memories.
So we're getting lots of PR on our best tasting water. We see that was in the sequence here of,
Well, it was in the, well, we put it in our newsletter naturally, along with the 100-year centennial. And I know it was a small blurb in the paper, along with, I think they covered RP3 and the water thing at the same time. It was a little bit of a confusing article. And then I think you were on Channel 9, is that correct?
One of the local news stations, it was on TV, I saw that.
Right. And then coming up next week, they will be presenting us with a plaque or whatever down at Wisconsin Water Association thing, and then also will be giving us a 3x8 banner with our logo on it that we can display here or City Hall or wherever you want to put it to show it off for a year.
somebody asked me if this is really tap water.
That deal comes in an hour early. Somebody, Joel, somebody asked me about, you know, when you, the disconnections, you know, like we disconnected 700 or 877 and currently disconnected 55. Do most people respond rather quickly to a disconnection?
Yeah, generally speaking, they do. You know, we probably average 20 disconnects a day when we're disconnecting. And that's roughly half the days out of each month that we disconnect. So yeah, I mean, they respond pretty quickly. And the ones you see that we're currently disconnected means is if you went on our system right now, there'd be approximately 55 service addresses that have been off more than one day. Some of them for months.
Wow. And the receivables look like they're a little higher than normal.
Where do you see that?
The total receivables, let's say 3.2 million roughly.
Yeah.
Haven't they always been like around 2.5 million or something?
You know, that counts the current bill, so that's somewhat a function of sales, really.
Okay.
I mean, the 60 and 90-day numbers are down from our historical numbers. And those are really the two numbers I pay most attention to, because that's where
Sure.
a given account will transition into our disconnect cycle. So it's more of an indication of, excuse me, of our success in collecting the past.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I remember in the past it was rather high, and it's really good to see the 60 and 90-day numbers in that range. Anything else? All right. Director of Finance.
I did hand out
Talk to us a little bit about this.
Yep, I can explain that. I did hand out for everybody the bid tabulation that happened yesterday for our bond refinancing. Page 6, if you're going to look at one page on here, page 6 is probably the one page that's going to give you the most information.
Page 6.
Page 6. So what this is going to show you, the first couple columns right here are going to be our old or our current $9 million electric revenue bonds. The middle section is the refinanced bonds that we're doing as general obligation debt through the city. And then you can see the dark column is the annual cash savings every month. And then the next column is the preliminary. So we did about $175,000 better than preliminary numbers that they put together for us. So they're expecting over the life of the bonds we'll save about $1.6 million in cash flow.
Wow.
And it came up to about 8.69% present value savings, which was pretty good.
And reducing that expense on the revenue bonds, and appreciate the city's help on that project. It's provided great value for us. Allows us to kick the can down the road for future rate increases for longer than we would anticipate. So.
And it's great that we can work together. I mean, we have the same customers.
Yeah, I agree.
And so if we can save the city that much money, it's great. And I appreciate that you contacted the city to work with us on it.
Thanks.
It's good.
That's really excellent.
The one thing we will see when we get to budget year, what we budget for the expense is the interest side of it, and the interest is almost down $200,000 a year in the interest amount. So that'll be, definitely savings on the budget side that we'll talk about in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah, this has got to help out a lot.
It will.
Your financial reports. In your report, it says financial reports with the total electric operating expenses to the budget. I got kind of confused with that, and not that that's that hard. Both the electric and water utilities posted 175,000 net operating income for the month of July. The expense category, excuse me. The expense categories are in line with annual budget through July, 58% of the year. So you're saying that our expenses for July, through July should be 58%? Is that what? Is
The end of July would be 58% of the year.
Of the year.
So when you look at
and you're
that,
right on line with that.
We're pretty close on line with those. If you're just looking at a straight line budget, if things are consistent.
And then you said the total electric operating are 57, so that's pretty close. How did you hit it so close?
Good budgeting.
I guess. Hey, sometimes you gotta just put one up in the air for a spike, don't you? Anybody else? Information Systems Administrator. Thanks, Jeff.
You're welcome.
The SCADA transition is going well.
Yeah, we installed the server, or Matt installed the server a few weeks ago, and then we had the vendor come and put the new software in. So like Matt said in the report, the old system and the new system are running side by side right now. And I'd like to run a few months before we actually move over to the new system, but so far it's working really well. It's going to have some new features in it that are going to be helpful. We'll be able to access SCADA pages not only on a Microsoft product, but on an Apple product as well. So that'll be nice.
You can sit home in bed and
Yeah, I already do that with my Surface, but now I can do it with my iPad too.
all right.
The NISC applications. I know you said the problem with the accuracy last month. Are you getting anywhere close to that, or?
Moved in a new direction.
Oh.
So what I did is, one of the linemen came to me, the line foreman, and his phone was dying. It wouldn't charge anymore. So we replaced it with
Use a smartphone?
Yeah, well,
iPhone.
Yeah, we replaced it with an Apple iPhone.
Oh.
And it's basically the same function as an iPad. Well, it's exactly the same function, except we went out and tested it, and the GPS is far more accurate.
Boy, why?
I have no idea why. We just know it is. So we went out and did some locating with the iPhone this week. It was early this week. Well, no, late last week, so it was Thursday when we did that. And it was within 5 feet of whatever we were looking for.
Really?
All within 5 feet.
Except you got to look on a little screen.
Oh, it's the bigger one.
Okay.
That and those are cheaper than
an iPad.
So we got even cheaper yet.
Yeah, oh, good. Conservation Manager. No questions of Sean today?
Sean's off the hook.
Yeah, Sean's off the hook. All right, Director of Engineering and Electric Operations.
Glad to see you're going to do the blueprints thing.
Yeah, I'm honored to be asked.
Should be interesting.
I have a safety award too that I wanted to bring today. So American Public Power gave us this electric utility safety award for 2014 because of our safe working practice record. No injuries.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, great. Anything else? General Manager's report. I have on here the capital budgets, a lot of time was spent. When will we be seeing your budgets?
Well, we've got, in the next couple months, we'll probably have a few heavy lifting meetings that will take some time like the budget normally does. So we'll probably be doing that sometime in October. But we've got to get together prior to that and do a building and grounds meeting to talk about the common budget, which includes mainly the facility here on 16th. And possibly an HR meeting. So we will have some meetings coming up in the next few weeks, with just one of the items being the budget. Now the capital is pretty much flushed out now. Jeff's waiting for the end of the month numbers to start looking at the O&M side of the budget.
You also, United Heartland, was that just a regular workers' comp?
Yeah, they
the
usually
facility?
typically come twice a year and let us know what our mod rating is, how it's progressing, either for the better or for the worse. And then typically once a year they do job site safety inspections of our crews. So they saw both the electric and the water last month, which I heard went well verbally, but they haven't actually. Usually they'll send me an official follow-up report, and I have not received that yet.
Well, do you remember what your mod is?
It's, for the first several years, it was very good, and then we had the incident with one of our linemen working at Quackpo, so it shot up for a couple of years, and now it's heading back down. You know what it is exactly now, Jeff? It's around 85 or 90, I think, which is below average. Because usually it's 100% of the, so it saves us a little money. But I know we were down close to 80 at one point in time until we had the incident on the Quackpo project. It pushed us up, and now we're headed back down, and that'll fall off our mod rating the end of this year, I think.
Good. All right, review accounts payable.
Yeah, there was one, seems like there's one item I had there. Oh, I had one before that too. To find my little yellow note. The customer accounts expense for the water utility is over 100% of budget. Any particular thing that's driving that?
I think the big part of that is the write-offs that we did this year. We kind of caught up on some of those, and that's the number where we're already at 67,000, so we've kind of already surpassed that budget number for the write-offs. That's the big amount in that whole bucket right there.
So for the balance of the year?
We'll likely be over in that account because of that.
Okay.
Are you looking at the profit and loss statement? Or the...
I'm looking at the operating expense for the water utility.
Okay, that's on the regular P&L statement,
Yep.
not on the accounts payable.
No. It's
Okay,
ahead of
could
the-
I,
it's
since
a-
you...
It's ahead of the accounts payable.
Yeah.
You got ahead of me.
I did, but, no, I didn't. But since John brought a question up, I have one too on page 27. Again, on the profit and loss statement. It's called non-operating income. And there's, to me, it looks like, this is education for Tom. I don't understand what all the minus numbers you...
Yeah, I mean, this is just more of how it works here. So minus number is actually like revenue on this one.
Yeah.
Because it's below the line. So in the first one here, merchandise, jobbing, and contract work. So that's when we'll go out and actually put in a new service or something for somebody that we're going to be billing. So that's for the month of July, you know, we took in $151 more than we expensed in that category. So that's seen as a revenue, since the expenses above it are seen as positive, those revenues are seen as negative.
I guess I still, maybe you have to set me down and like show me with a chalkboard. I guess I don't get it, but.
We can spend some time offline if
Yeah,
you like and
yeah.
go through it, sure.
The other one I had, as long as Tom brought us that page that I didn't bring up, is duplicate charges credit.
Duplicate charges would be charges, they're primarily in the electric side when we're buying power from ourselves. So it'd be like for the plant use. And then water that's purchased by the plant for like the office and the garage. So that is a credit, since we're already booking it as revenue. So it's kind of a reduction that way.
Again, how we account for everything is pretty much the FERC PSC set guidelines in every category, so we need to flesh those more out as we go through the budget this year. We can do that, just so you understand what they are.
Any questions again, like on the accounts payable?
I had one, the sewer fee reimbursement. This was finally, well, anyway, talk to me about that number.
The $347,000?
Correct.
That is just the monthly amount, since we're the billing agent for the city. On the sewer side, this is just the sewer fees that we billed out in July.
Okay.
We paid them in August. So with that one, they get 100% of the revenue, and they don't wait until we collect the money to receive the cash, since we're acting as a billing agent.
Okay.
Anything else?
I'm good.
Okay. Would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second it.
I've just one ancillary thing. I either need to ask for forgiveness
Okay.
or
Oh,
another meeting date change.
okay, yeah, I've had a couple commissioners come to me and say they already had plans in and around that date, so we may be asking for your forgiveness because they wanted to stick with the normal meeting date. But I think what we should probably do, since you aren't going to be here and I know you're out of town on another commitment, is essentially postpone the officer and committee reorganization till November again. I think we've had to do this the past few years anyway, for whatever reason, a commissioner missing the October meeting. Now, the October meeting, we will have a new commissioner because John Harper is stepping down. So I think it'd just be good for us to postpone the reorganization of officers and the committees to November. And then we'll work around your schedule in October to handle these other, we may get together in September on the building and grounds, but it'll be October before we do the budget and a lot of the heavy lifting, so we'll make sure we work around your schedule to get that set with everybody, because that's the one meeting we want to make sure everybody can attend.
Okay.
Okay, all in agreement to adjourn. Please say aye.
Aye.
Aye.